Hi guys, my name is Andrew Costello. I am the Disability Service Assistive Technology Officer, helping students with technology within their academic work, essentially all the way through. I'm joined here by my colleague Jamie McKendry, who is the AT intern for the service as well, essentially all the way through today. Today we're going to introduce what we call the PDF reader. Essentially. So as it says in the tin, it will read a device that will allow you to increase your comprehension and reading ability of reading PDFs. This is a common issue that I would come into when meeting with students regarding accessing material, or if you have a high volume of reading content to fulfill essentially all the way through, and you find difficult maybe using the printed format essentially all the way through. So in this case, in this piece of software, which I'll introduce now, it will allow you to have the PDF read to you essentially as you're also reading it and highlighting the spoken word. This has been shown to increase your ability to remember, and I suppose to also process that information all the way through. So I'm going to share my screen out, and we're going to go run through the steps of maybe just quickly installing Texthelp Read and Write, which is the tool I'm going to use to where the PDF reader tool lives essentially all the way through, and then I'll show you a quick demo of PDF reader in action all the way through, and I'll quickly also touch base on Microsoft's version of it as well, and its pluses and minuses. So I'll get cracking. I'm just going to share my screen. Okay, so I'm on a browser essentially all the way through. So the software we're going to use today is called Texthelp Read and Write. It's free for you to use. You click on Texthelp, as like read and write, and hit return, essentially all the way through. And it will bring you to their website. The first option here is to install it onto your software. If you scroll down here, you have an option to try read and write, and that will give you the installation. And from there, then you pick your device that you're looking to use it on. If it's a Windows device, you use the UK or the version of it essentially all the way through. Or if you're on Mac or iPad, or you want to use it on Microsoft Edge, you can use it. The tool I would recommend, obviously, if you're Mac, you'd click on the Mac option. If you're on Windows, I would do the full install of Windows essentially all the way through. We have provided further instructions on this off our website. I'll just show you that for your own benefit. My colleague Jamie has put this together all the way through. It shows you how to install the software essentially all the way through. Once you've launched the software, on the top right hand corner of the software, you go to sign in and you use your Google option and type in your Trinity user details. So I'm going to boot up the software here, and I'll show you it in action all the way through. Just a sec, as it says. Always take a few seconds for it to load. It has a lot of functionality onto it essentially all the way through, including the PDF reader, and it will launch a toolbar at the very top of our screen. Okay. All the way through. So what we're speaking about earlier on is when you launch the software for the first time, in the top right hand corner here, you'll have an option to sign in. I'm signed out at the moment. I'm going to keep myself signed in. You can sign in. You can hit on the Google option and then type in your Trinity username and password, and it will activate the product for you. You only do that once essentially all the way through, and it gives you, as I said, a whole range of tools here within the Read and Write family all the way through. The tool that we're going to cover today is called PDF Reader. Okay, essentially all the way through. Okay, so as I said earlier on, and what it does is it reads PDF documents to me all the way through. PDF, by its nature, a portable document format. is a document that was a format that was created years back to help people share documents, and its file size essentially. So it compresses down the document. Again, a Windows document or a document essentially all the way through, and it will create a PDF version of it essentially all the way through. So from there, and that's why we would always use it, again, the PDF version. Probably there. Sorry for stopping. I'm just other people have just entered into the room here essentially. Right. So the PDF reader is a portable document format essentially reader is allowed. And from there, you would click on to the option called PDF reader. It will prompt you to find the PDF you want to read. Okay, so this document would be stored locally onto your computer. So, for example, okay, if you're in Blackboard, I'm going to launch into Blackboard here because that's probably where you will get most of your ideas from, essentially. If you go to mymodule.tcd.ie, okay, which is we know is Blackboard, essentially all the way through, and log in to your screen. It logs you in, essentially all the way through. And on the left-hand side, you'll have access to your course material essentially all the way through. So by clicking onto the module, I'm going to use the option here just for pure example's sake, called our training module. We'd have material sit here all the way through. So here's an option for a PDF. I'm going to, and it might obviously be more, again, be titled along your course area essentially all the way through. By clicking on the good PDF, it will open it up per se within the browser essentially all the way through. Okay, so we have difficulties maybe accessing this essentially. So what we're trying to do is download this out of the tool essentially all the way through. So we can download it onto our own computer essentially all the way through. So by clicking here, it will give you an option to download it, and from there we're going to stick it onto our desktop or wherever you want to store it essentially all the way through, because we're going to get Texthelp Read and Write to read this for us. So as I said earlier on, to access the material, we click on the PDF reader. We will then find the document that we were looking to read. Here it is here, and screen readers, click onto it, and it opens up the PDF per se all the way through. All the PDF reader does, as it says, is read back the document to us essentially all the way through. And all we are looking to do here is click on the screen, click on the title bar essentially, anywhere we want it to be read, and it will read it back for us.
A screen reader allows people who are blind or visually impaired to use their computer. This fact sheet provides an overview of the main screen readers available.
Okay, so this is reading back through this PDF,
which
is talking about screen readers essentially all the way through.
It has been written to help
so
people
this
determine which is the most appropriate for their needs, and includes summary information about the screen readers.
And it highlights where I am. So that's there's a two kind of prompt approach here all the way through. You're getting that audio feedback, but also you're getting the decided, I suppose, vision of where you are on the screen. So as someone who's dyslexic myself, my tendency is to skip lines, skip through the document per se all the way through, and miss important words, miss important sentences essentially all the way through. And as a result, then I'm missing stuff, or I feel even though I've read it, I've missed important areas essentially of the size of the document. So by having it read back to me, I'm allowed to pick up that same kind of I suppose that auditory format, which keeps me focused on where I am within the document. Essentially, it helps me to process it. So again, the tools at the top here, pause, play, rewind, and forward, are similar to what they would do on any device. Essentially, they would,
the operating
they pause it and you can stop it, and you can pause it and you can play it essentially all the way through. So it allows you to, I suppose, get through the document if you wish. But as I said, it's a tool that allows us to I suppose have the document read aloud to me in a quick and easy manner essentially all the way through. It helps me to engage with it a bit further all the way through. There's nothing more else to the PDF reader. That's what it does, essentially. It will read PDFs for us all the way through. If, for example, you wanted to make use of the Office or again Microsoft's Word version, essentially all the way through, there is an alternative for it, but it does have its limitations, and I'll speak about them now at a minute. So PDFs, as I said, come in different formats, different ways. As I said, it's a portable document, compressed document, hence why the file size is smaller for you to engage in it all the way through. That's why PDFs became so popular, essentially, all the way through. The PDF document, I suppose, allows us to, I suppose, access the document when we want, but it also has come across where you might receive the document and it's in a scanned stroke image per se all the way through. And in that case, our PDF friend here won't work because it won't be able to make out the text within the document. And you'll soon know that because the document looks like a photograph that you speak on, essentially, all the way through. That kind of sort of stuff. So that's, where we're looking at. So if you are required, if you come across I suppose a document or a PDF in that nature where you can't essentially highlight the document or put your mouse over to it and again highlight the text. So I'll show you an example here all the way through. I can highlight this text. My mouse will sit over it essentially, and as a result it will play it. In the case of an image document, it looks like a photograph, and it won't do that for you. In this case here, we use the scan option, essentially, that will create. It will ask you to scan the document or find the document that you want to convert, and it will convert the PDF into a Word document. So here I can find the document I want to read, essentially all the way through. I can click on it, create the Word version for me, essentially all the way through, and it will go off and then scan that image and make the best attempt that it will in creating the Word format. So I'll do it here for you. I'll just create the first 2 pages just to quicken this up so we're not. Obviously, the more pages that you have there to scan, the longer it'll take. Give it a name, and I'll stick it on the desktop here all the way through. It's scanning it now, called OCR, as you can see, optical character recognition. And it will reopen the document now once it's completed its scanning of it all the way through. So the larger documents you have, it will take maybe 5-10 minutes for it to complete. It's something that you can start and it will come back in a format that you wish to do all the way through. Why is this doing that? I want to introduce if you have the PDF that's again navigable via your mouse, essentially all the way through before we did the conversion, and you can still open that within Microsoft Word. So if I open up a blank document here all the way through, or even go to open on my desktop. There you go. Let me set it on speaker because it's doing the conversion. I think that's how I at the moment. Yeah. Sorry, it's just to complete. So there's the completed scanned version now that we have now within Microsoft Word, essentially all the way through. And now I can go in and play around it. And if it was a scanned image, you'd be able to do the same. You'd be able to then access the text within that document now from here on in. Okay. As I said earlier on, if you had the PDF, you could also try to open it directly within Microsoft Word without even using Texthelp Read Write if you wish. So again, we can find a document that we wish to use all the way through. Here's a PDF document that I have. It's in PDF format. It hasn't been changed into Word. And by clicking onto it, sorry, my Teams is kicking off there essentially all the way through. I'm going to open that again. It opens up again the PDF that we've had directly into Microsoft Word. It does the conversion for us essentially all the way through. And as I covered last week, quickly here, essentially all the way through, there is a tool within Microsoft Word called the Immersive Reader under View and called Immersive Reader that will read this document for us. So by clicking Immersive Reader and then read aloud, it will play back the document for us essentially all the way through.
Is the most appropriate for their needs and includes summary information about the screen readers.
Again, you can pause it and you can stop it. Similarly, what we've done within Read and Write. You can also change the voice and who is reading it and what accent you get essentially, all that kind of sort of stuff. So there's multiple ways of having stuff read back to you all the way through. The PDF reader within Texthelp Read and Write is my preferred option, as it's got more muscle to its capabilities all the way through. It's able to look at documents that are scanned and convert them to a version that you are able to then have the PDF reader play back to you essentially. It has that OCR scenario. So you'll come across different documents as you navigate your course throughout the time, that kind of sort of stuff that will help you, I suppose, access material in the way that you want it all the way through. The last thing I'm going to show you is also within Blackboard. Okay, because again, there's other ways of getting hold of this material. If I go to my Blackboard module that I have essentially all the way through, come out of here if I can. When I come across all the material in my module, I'll come back here to start again so you can see from scratch. Here's my test module all the way through. Here's all my stuff that my lecturers put in all the way through. You might come across this A stuff going, this kind of big A that's sitting beside my document essentially. That's called alternative formats. And by clicking on that, it also will give you a way of downloading that version and converting it. So there's different formats for you to use there. One in EPUB, an audio version, a Beeline reader, which is an online kind of screen reading method format that's very popular amongst a certain cohort, again, certain students essentially with a specific learning difficulty prefer that. It shows the format, which kind of breaks down by color, and the immersive reader, as we spoke about earlier as well, that will open up in Microsoft Word. So again, without getting Read and Write involved here, you can also access the PDF in a format that you wish or have it converted to. Okay, so really easy ways for us to actually access the material essentially all the way through. Come back to us all the way through. So really easy ways for you to access PDFs and have them read to you. And again, just to kind of go over that point again, why do we need to have them converted? A, to make it into a format that you can access and process in a more easier method that suits your ability, or having to read something that's difficult to see or difficult to comprehend or even process essentially all the way through. So by listening to work or listening to material, you might find it easier for you to complete. That's me essentially all the way through. If you have any questions, please shoot away. I'm happy to answer them, or all the way through. I'd be happy for us to take them on essentially all the way through, or if you have any questions left, you can always email us in to askds@tcd.ie, and I'll be able to ask or come back to you on any questions that you have. This recording will also be made available online for you to review at a different time, or if you have any colleagues or friends that you come across that you think that could be useful, you can make them aware. It's also recorded up there. Thanks very much for your time. Bye-bye.